I'm going to share with you the process I went through that completely transformed the first 5 minutes of my class.
Welcome to the PE Express podcast. 2 to 3 times a week, a PE expert will share a tip, activity idea, or teaching strategy to help you become a better PE professional. Today's host and PE guru resides in the Pacific Northwest and is a physical education instructional specialist in Washington State, Derek Severson.
Instant activities are such a hot topic in our physical education community. They're quick, fun, and sure to get your students off to an active start at the beginning of class. There's so many types of instant activities: small group, large group, cooperative, competitive, fitness-based, skill-based, one task, multitasks. I could keep going on. We have a lot of options as to what type of instant activity we bring to our PE program. I'm a huge advocate for instant activities in PE programs because they immediately get students moving at the beginning of class. I share a lot about instant activities because I've personally seen the benefits and huge gains students can achieve simply by giving them an entry task as they walk in the door. Through countless revisions, I eventually designed an instant activity where I didn't need to give my students direct instruction to complete their entry task. And it worked. So here's what I did. When I designed my instant activity, I first thought about what I wanted to achieve, and I came up with 3 main goals. My first goal was to provide a variety of activities. My second goal was to give students the ability to perform without my assistance. And the third goal was to create an active and fun learning environment. Through countless revisions, here's the design I came up with. A 5-minute, 5-task instant activity. This was printed in a poster format with limited instructional text of each task and a visual picture of someone modeling the task. At the bottom of this poster, below the 5 tasks, I put a standards-based performance rubric students or myself could access for assessment. My instant activities have 5 tasks, all of which allow my students to work at their own pace. Each task gives students 1 minute towards practicing a fitness-themed skill. After each minute, students move on to the next numbered task. The first 4 tasks are fitness-themed and directly linked to each of the health-related fitness components: cardiorespiratory endurance, muscular strength, flexibility, and muscular endurance. For example, students practice ski jumps for 1 minute. The 5th and final task is a challenging, cooperative activity between 2 students. For example, students sit back to back with a partner and attempt to stand together while keeping their arms linked. I found timed tasks to be highly effective with my students. In a previous instant activity design I gave students a number of repetitions to complete for each task. This ended up being a big failure. For example, jogging 3 laps, performing 20 jumping jacks, etc. I soon learned this method was hard to monitor. Students tried to take shortcuts completing these tasks. One prime example of this I saw with my students was those ever so popular hummingbird jumping jacks where somehow they emphatically waved their arms to complete 25 jumping jacks in 3 seconds. Within the first minute, I soon overheard students saying, "I'm finished, now what?" So I made the change from students completing a set number of repetitions to students working to the best of their ability in a 1-minute task. Allowing students to work at their own pace did wonders and created more buy-in to the learning and higher participation rates in these first 5 minutes. And it made scanning the classroom to see if everyone was on task so much easier. So the design of my instant activity was complete. Once I had this blueprint, I built a library of 30 different instant activity posters where I was able to provide a new different set of tasks each week. Yes, I ended up coming up with 150 different activities. This did take a little time, but it was so worthwhile. As each week progressed, students had new tasks to focus on. However, there were some tasks that students simply didn't want to do. Instead of fighting that, I gave students the power to choose their task that they want to complete by adding student choice posters alongside the instant activity poster. The student choice poster had 3 previous skills from prior instant activities that a student could revisit instead of trying out the new task at hand. For example, if a student didn't like jumping jacks as the task on that week's instant activity, they could refer back to the student choice poster and choose jogging in place instead. So what do these instant activities actually look like in the classroom? Well, I saw up to 60 students at one time. For safety, transitions, and management, I had 6 different locations where students could access their instant activity. Instead of students going to one spot, I divided them into 6 equal teams, designating each team to go to a different part of the gym to access their entry task. I found a lot of success with this style of instant activity, and you can too. Whatever type of instant activity you do with your students, I encourage you to occasionally reflect on what you're doing and ask yourself, can I make this better? I'm Derek Severson. Go forth and inspire your students today.
If you enjoyed the podcast, be sure to connect with Derek on Twitter at PhysEdDerek. Don't forget to subscribe to the PE Express podcast for more tips, activity ideas, and strategies to help you become a better PE professional. And check out more free resources from Derek at gophersport.com/blog. We'll see you soon right here on the PE Express podcast, powered by Gopher, your resource for all things physical education.